Greetings and welcome to SciFake.com. Theresa Caputo, cashing in on the tears from a grieving child who recently lost his father due to a horrible accident, is repugnant and wicked.
One of the most touching stories, she visited a little boy who had lost his father, Steve, in a drowning accident during a triathlon. A family friend says Ben has gone from happy and dynamic to sad and quiet since his father's death.
He lost her husband unexpectedly, and Ben went from dynamic, vibrant, happy-go-lucky all the time to sad and quiet. So I just thought that Theresa would be perfect for Angie and Ben right now.
Make no mistake, SciFake.com grieves for Angie and Ben. However, this is about exposing Theresa Caputo as a fraud and her benefiting from this family's misfortune.
I just think he was the greatest dad on earth.
In our opinion, telling this heartbroken child that she, Caputo, is communicating with the child's deceased father is distasteful and irresponsible.
It's almost like, can I say this to you, Angie? I don't even know where to start. That's how I feel.
Meet Angie. She is Ben's mom. Her heart is double broken due to the loss of her husband Steve, and because Ben, Angie's son, lost his father. Even more wretched is that Theresa is about to manipulate both with her misleading performance.
First of all, there's a young male that's present. Young for me is anyone that left the physical world before we feel that time.
Yes.
And this is your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
In Caputo's own words,
Angie's best friend Lorraine wrote in.
Lorraine, seen here, Angie's friend is the person who provided Caputo with the relevant information about Ben and Angie.
And this is your husband?
Yes.
I hate to rain on Theresa Caputo's otherwise shady performance. However, this is not a guess, nor a revelation by Theresa Caputo. This information was given to Caputo prior to her meeting Angie and Ben.
Angie's best friend Lorraine wrote in, and Lorraine really wants Angie to have this reading.
I thought he'd never die for one, and there was a lot.
Was he in like really good shape or just?
Gosh, yeah.
Theresa Caputo, you should be ashamed because the information about Steve being an athlete was available to you prior to your catch penny performance and dummy question.
Because he goes,
Oh, gosh.
He is busting my
You can't.
goons because he's like, guess how old I am.
Ben.
I go, what do you mean guess how old you are? I go, I'm not guessing how old you are.
Oh my gosh, that's, you have
He
no.
goes, you're never gonna guess. He goes, because I'm much older than I look. He goes, I look good for my age. And he's over there fixing his hair.
That's him.
Oh my gosh.
According to Steve's obituary, seen here, Steve unfortunately passed away at the age of 46, and this information is still available on the internet. So, once again Caputo's raunchy performance is shady because it is no great revelation about Steve's age, nor his physical condition. Caputo's carnival sideshow is revolting. It is obvious the child is suffering from emotional mayhem, and to make this weeping youngster part of her bogus cash cow performance is borderline actionable.
Did your dad call you Buddy?
According to Parents.com, Buddy is not an uncommon nickname, and here she is attempting to convince the tearful child that she is receiving messages from this boy's departed father by drilling exclusivity with an otherwise very common nickname. This type of exploitation of a child by Theresa Caputo and TLC is heinous in the extreme, and in our opinion is indeed child abuse. Both Caputo and TLC are decidedly more evil than the complacent, blindsided supporters that give belief and standing ovations to the worst in our society. According to Discovery.com, President and CEO David Zaslav sets the strategy and oversees all operations of the world's #1 nonfiction media company. If the Long Island medium is nonfiction, then I would suggest selling the idea that President Obama is a U.S. citizen. Theresa Caputo, to feed this anguished child a spoonful of your garbage is psychologically unsanitary, and brands you as an immoral bottom feeder. Here's an interesting fact about communicating to the dead: you can't, and your false correspondences to the deceased are disingenuous. Your few sophisticated admirers should boycott the show, because I can assure them that your Roadhouse-based performance is fraudulent. Sci-Fake realizes that Discovery is at the mercy of the advertisers. However, why would Mr. Zaslav allow the exploitation of a grief-stricken child knowing the communication to the child's deceased father is not scientifically recognized nor supported?
About what goes on the screen, that's the core of who we are. That's how people see us, and that's what's going to make them come back.
Come back, Mr. Zaslav, at the expense of the wretched child, or maybe the free prize at the bottom of every vodka bottle. To profit at the expense of a grieving child is offensive, and Mr. Zaslav, you are in part to blame by allowing Theresa Caputo to manipulate this child's reflection of the truth. To suggest that Theresa Caputo is communicating with this boy's deceased father is dishonest and can be emotionally damaging. Thanks for watching Sci-Fake.com.